Hey viewers, welcome back to the channel. This is the wrap-up video for my daughter's 2014 Jeep Patriot, doing the CarPlay stereo install. Finally got it all buttoned up and working, and so I figured I'd take you along and show you what we got, how it turned out. So first off, everything's in, functional and working, which is always that's the first goal, right? Second thing, some of the stuff I had to do. One is modify the dash, which I didn't want to do. You try to buy the right adapter kits and everything to make this look clean, but at the end of the day, sometimes things just don't fit. And this is one of those cases. So apparently double din doesn't mean always double din, because there's a double din radio, but the bezel here is just a bit taller and a bit wider than what the stock was. This thing actually came up to about the bottom of that USB port, to where aside from having an interference point to snap the dash closed, you couldn't plug the USB cable in. It just did. So I had to take away, basically enlarge in the hole a bit. So I chose to basically cut the bottom. Right. I used a set of calipers to try to get the exact measurement. I used the calipers to actually scribe a line on tape. Put some blue painter's tape, used calipers to measure the distance, then took those calipers and used them on the edge of it to scribe a line straight on the tape, and then I cut on that line with the tape. That gave a cleaner cut, and then worked it with sandpaper to try to get to massage the rest of the way. So I used a Dremel for that, just a Dremel with a cutoff wheel, and it worked well. Plastic got a little melty. I wish this could be cleaner. I don't know how to make it cleaner, right? When you have to modify dash components like this. In the end, probably what I would want to do is if there's some way I could make a little, almost like plastic weld or something to kind of basically get this material covering just a little bit to make a little more of a bezel to kind of cover the gap, right? But is attached to the centerpiece, right? So when it pulls off, right, I can still get at it. So I'm not sure how to do that. Let me know in the comments if you know tricks to kind of clean this up and make this look a little better. Please let me know. I'd love to hear it. So we had to do that to make it fit. The other modification that I did was I took the stock microphone that came with this thing and got rid of it. Let me see. Actually, I say I got rid of it. Do I have it? I still have it. Sorry, bad framing. Reach in the glove box. Oh, I do. Yeah, let's look at this thing. Okay, this is the mic that came with it, and it looks like a lapel mic. Like you're supposed to clip this on your shirt while you're driving. Like it's ugly, right? It's ugly. So I upgraded to the $8 microphone off of Amazon. So I basically put this guy in and drilled just a hole in the back, right? Sticky tape mounted, and that connects to the stereo for hands-free calling. This thing works really well. CarPlay is responsive. You see it up there. Amp quality is good. This car has some pretty decent speakers, and I don't know if that's the speakers or if that's also a good quality amp in this thing, but it's good enough for your normal everyday radio. For built-in, it works fabulously. A gripe that I have, I wish this USB cable or the port, I wish it was on the back. That way you could kind of stealth route this and put a jack where you want. I'd probably end up either put a jack right here, right, or maybe in the side of the glove box, on this side here. Then you can put your phone here, right? Kind of put a USB jack right there. I think giving more options like that would be nice. Otherwise we basically have to take a cable like there, maybe get a really thin, I know they make thin USB plugs to have a minimal protrusion, and then wrap it behind the dash and then do that. And that's something we can still do if we want to. And that would be better. That'd be better than just the cable hanging out that you then got to figure out and stow. But aside from that, for 150 bucks, this thing's awesome. This thing's absolutely awesome. Other features, AM, FM radio, right? It's got a backup camera, which I'll talk about in a minute. It's got provision for a front-mounted camera as well. Here, I got this. Let me go home. And USB radio. Let you see this in action. Phone link, so it does support Android Auto as well. Aux input, where you can mirror the you know, you can have rear seat monitors and other monitors and stuff, as well as video input if you want to hook up a PlayStation or something like that. At least a composite video input, so not the highest quality, right? But you can see we've got front and rear cam there, right? So that's pretty cool. So it's got CarPlay, it's got Android Auto, and it also has phone mirroring through Apple and Auto Link, which I don't know anything about those. Maybe you do. All I cared about was CarPlay. We're kind of an iPhone family, so meh, that's all that we really need. Real quick before I show you the backup camera, because that's working, and that came with the thing for 150 bucks. The install. So the backup camera is in the tailgate right here, mounted license plate, and I'll show you that in a second. So I had to run wire up there, right through here, like I showed previously. But what I didn't show is I had to run more wire through here. So that backup camera, basically there is a wire that you run to the dash, and it is a composite video cable as well as an additional power wire that's bundled in as like a turn-on wire. And then, so that ran through this conduit. But I also have to tap power from the reverse light, which of course is not in the tailgate, it's down here. So I had to tap power from this reverse light assembly and then extend wire. So I had to go and buy just like 16 gauge primary wire and run it from here all the way up through there, all the way through here, and splice everything. And I use those same splices I showed previously, right? The solder heat shrink splices. And even in here, I tried to use T-taps to tap into the factory wiring, and they were so horrible I gave up, and I actually cut the factory harness and spliced in with those solder splices and spliced the factory wiring harness back. So I don't like doing that, cutting the factory harness, but it is a much better connection than those T-taps. So in the end, see here, there is the install of the camera. Try to make it as clean as we could because it's kind of a big camera, and we had to mount it low because the handle's up here, and so there's no central mounting point here, and getting the angle right, you know, doing an off angle thing, just I don't think would work. So that's into what we haven't. And so if we come back here, put it in reverse, you can see we have backup. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. So now the one thing I don't like the way it works is the way it triggers that is, I think, the power signal from the camera. So there's a there's like a turn-on wire that you power. So basically, I spliced the reverse light power, the camera power, and then the turn-on wire all in the same splice. That's how it showed to wire it. So, which what that means is that the camera's only powered whenever when you're in reverse. Which does good for auto switching it into reverse, right? But the downside is if I want to view the camera kind of out of band, right? It's not turned on, so now I mean signal. A future thing that I could do, or you could do if you're doing this install, is playing around with, can you wire the camera power to switch 12 volts where the camera's always on, and then just wire that remote turn-on signal to the reverse lights. That might be an option, and I'm wondering if that would then give you where you can inspect the camera all the time and it's always on, but then you'll still get the trigger when you shift into reverse. I don't know. The manual is not exactly detailed. It has one picture showing wiring, but I'm thinking maybe that would work. So that's an improvement that you can make. But aside from that, that is it. What else is on here? SD card slot, if you care. I don't, but you might. Aux input, they could cover that. It's got Bluetooth hands-free as well, so just your standard Bluetooth audio profiles as well as the CarPlay stuff. So that's all I got for you. Successful install. I want one of these for my car now. My daughter has a nicer radio than me, and I don't know if I'll let that stand. So I might have to pick one of these up for my car, because my car is an 03 Honda Pilot with stock everything, and it's a wonderful car. It gets me from A to B, but the radio isn't exactly high tech. So okay, that's all I got. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.